as early as 2 or 3 years of age. Early intervention is usually carried out with children at or before preschool age. The brain of a young child is still in the process of forming, so it is more plastic or changeable at this age compared to when it's older. The reason for this plasticity is that treatments have a better chance of being effective in the long run due to this plasticity. Today we'll talk about early intervention for young adults with autism. In terms of developmental disorders, autism affects the brain and impairs the developmental of social and communication skills. A child normally experiences this condition during the first 3 years after they are born. The way the brain processes information when it's affected by autism has a profound effect on how it processes information in general. As a result, nerve cells are not able to function properly. There's an onset of autism symptoms around the 6th month after birth, gradually intensifying during the 2nd and 3rd years of a child's life. In addition to impaired communication and social interaction, repetitive behaviors, a lack of interest in social activities, and atypical eating habits, some of the symptoms of autism can be seen as mental impairments. Genetics, synaptic dysfunction, and environmental factors are some of the factors thought to be involved in its development, but its cause is not well understood. It is, however, hoped that more research will be conducted into the environmental cause of autism in the near future. Studies have shown that Hispanic children often experience developmental delays that are not diagnosed because of a lack of early intervention. Due to the lack of information on children's developmental stages and the importance of early detection and intervention in the case of autism, it's important to detect autism at an early stage and to intervene as soon as possible. A highly effective way to manage the autism spectrum disorder is by applying early, intensive, and specialized intervention to children with autism. In an early stage, a young autistic individual is entitled to receive specialized care at a young age in order to prevent the disorder from worsening as they approach adulthood as a result of early intervention. A significant part of the reason this method is so effective is because of an early age. The child's brain and their cognitive systems are still in the early and growing stages of development. A child who receives specialized care at a young age has a better chance of living a productive life in the future if he or she receives that care as early as possible. This is why early intervention is so important, that the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends screening children between the ages of 18 and 24 months as an early intervention method. Due to recent developments in the treatment of autism, early intervention in the management of autism is now necessary due to recent developments in the field. Early intervention has been found to be effective because of the ease with which young children can be taught and new dietary interventions can be introduced as compared to the introduction of such interventions to adults. Aside from that, interventions such as speech therapy tend to be more effective in children as opposed to adults in terms of their effectiveness. In the early stages of development, children are in the process of learning to speak. As a result, it's easier to correct mistakes when it comes to speech and communication. The development of children's learning as they mature makes it more difficult to correct any language errors they make as they progress in age. It's also important to note that young children are less concerned with appearances and how they appear. Due to this fact, it's much easier for them to correct the mistakes they have made as a result. Increasingly, older children are feeling self-conscious about their physical condition because other children tease them and segregate them due to their problem. There's no doubt that early intervention is the best strategy when it comes to managing autism in an effective manner. Autism does not have a single treatment method that can be used to treat it. In spite of this, several interventions exist, and most individuals respond better to behavioral programs that are structured in such a way that they are able to meet their specific needs. Applied behavior analysis is one of the most effective methods for the treatment of autism, according to the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. Therapy interventions for autism include speech and language therapy, SLT, sensory integration therapy, applied behavior analysis, ABA, occupational therapy, and augmentative and alternative communication. It is pertinent to note that each of these methods uses a different strategy to combat autism in a different way. In addition to the social aspects and aspects of these interventions, they encourage interaction, socialization, and communication. These interventions are highly effective due to their social nature. The purpose of behavioral analysis is to help individuals with autism develop communication, social, and academic skills by using basic behavioral practices like positive reinforcement, prompting, and repetition. Further benefit of the method is that it minimizes the effects of problem behaviors on the affected individuals with autism. In order to make sure that critical aspects of development are fostered, such as language development, social behavior, and play development, ABA aspects are incorporated. With the use of ABA techniques, parents can reduce behaviors that impede the learning process, such as self-stimulatory responses, tantrums, and self-stimulatory reactions. Now, before we continue, we'd like to ask a few moments of your time. If you want to support Autism Answers and its mission to spread awareness about autism, please leave a like and click on the subscribe button. This would help us create more engaging content for you. Now, moving back to where we left off. One of the methods that are used as part of an applied behavior analysis (ABA) program to discrete trial testing. This is a method whereby the instructor breaks down the learning task into smaller, more manageable pieces. Once the learner is able to complete this task, the instructor spends a considerable amount of time demonstrating to them the skill that is involved in performing that task. In some ABA methods, children are given structured instructions by adults, while in others, the child is taught by using his or her own interests to develop learning activities. As part of this method, children are presented with various opportunities to practice certain skills as they learn and practice them in different environments. It's essential that we break down the learning activities into small, simple methods so that it's easy to follow and ensure that this method is effective. A developmental intervention is a method of intervention for young adults with autism that focuses on the development of the child. In this method, the child initiates conversation, and the adult provides an appropriate response that serves the child's needs and encourages further interaction. In order to promote effective learning, activities are designed so that social interactions are encouraged in speech-language therapy (SLT). The effectiveness of this type of intervention is limited, but a certain study has shown that it can achieve positive language outcomes. When a child is active and participates in a variety of activities, this method is most effective. A therapist directs the child to engage in activities that address the communication and language needs of the child. Using alternative and augmentative communication, AAC, ideas, thoughts, emotions, and needs can be expressed. Language problems can be solved using this method. The technique can be used to enhance or eliminate non-functional speech elements. Social interaction is key to combating autism through communication boards, pictures, and electronic devices. Individuals can enhance their communication abilities by using these devices and materials. Oral sensitivities can also cause atypical eating habits in autistic children. Taste and texture of foods exacerbate the problem. As a result, many children develop a very limited diet. In the absence of elimination, the process usually results in malnutrition. Food therapy aims to restore the health of a child's gut. The absorption of nutrients can be improved by supplementing digestive enzymes and administering probiotics. Play and interaction with other children are difficult for children with autism. Their view is that play and socializing are not natural skills. Through play, this method facilitates the development of social skills in autistic children. To enable the development of play skills, this program promotes interaction between children. Depending on the needs of the children, instructors plan social activities for the children throughout the day. The objective of this approach is to improve the language and communication skills of autistic children through social interaction and play. It's important to emphasize that early intervention is effective because the brain and the cognitive system of a young child are still developing during this period. Autism interventions include speech and language therapy, sensory integration therapy, applied behavior analysis, occupational therapy, and augmentative and alternative communication, AAC. Despite the fact that each of these programs employs a different intervention strategy, they all incorporate social elements that foster collaboration and socialization. And that's what we have for you today. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section down below. If you want more content related to this topic, make sure to check out our channel. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.